Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I got this first piece of information from Michael at VAL5 Links. I had missed this. I think this is from last week, but I had missed it, so I wanted to at least mention it. There are so many Ripple partnerships that happen almost every week, at least 3 or so, that a lot of times I do miss them. But that's what happens when a company represents the number one use case for the greatest digital asset ever created, XRP. But he sent this: International Payments Gateway, ZenPay, announced on Thursday that it has partnered with Ripple for money transfers to Malaysia. ZenPay's foray into the crypto space is quite important given its large and wide user base. I'm not going to go any deeper into it than that because I have a lot of information I want to go over having to do with the markets and XRP today. And so let me move along. Got this from King Solomon. Now, I believe this is huge. And I'm surprised that he beat C3 Nick to the punch on this, because normally C3 Nick is the one that sends me the German information because I believe he's from Germany. But this is, it says, Germany's second largest stock exchange adds XRP ETNs now live, and this is big. Boris Stuttgart, they added Litecoin and XRP ETNs. Now, this is part of the. I keep talking about this on my channel. There's all this talk constantly about the SEC and are they going to approve this and well. Here's the bottom line. The reason the SEC is going to do it, and I tell you this all the time, the reason the SEC is going to do it is because all of these countries around the world are going to do it. And this is a global, XRP is global, digital assets are global. This is going on globally, and for that reason, that's the reason that moronic Congressman Sherman the other day said he wanted to ban cryptocurrencies, is because he's too late, but he's just now realizing. I'm sure it's a much larger learning curve for some of these moronic congressmen, but he's just realizing just how huge digital assets are, and he's realizing that it could hurt his power, and that's what really upsets him. And so, but this is the reason that the SEC and all of these they're going to get in line. They're going to try their best to figure out how they can get their arms around it and control everything. In my opinion, they eventually realize that the whole point of it is that they can't control it. And at that point, I believe the entire tax system of the United States, because ultimately, let's face it, that's what it's really about to these people, is the collection of money. Well, I believe this will all translate into a flat sales tax for the United States, and I don't know what the other countries of the world already do, but here we have the Internal Revenue Service, and anytime I bring up taxes, I always tell you all, pay your taxes. Do not think for a second that you can't be tracked. You can be tracked, so pay your taxes. But I do believe that this will cause the tax system to be evolved in something that would be easier for the IRS to control. I don't believe that they will even have an IRS down the road. I believe it'll be flat, or they may have one just to monitor a flat sales tax, but that's about it. Okay, so that's big news. Germany's doing it, so eventually the SEC is gonna be allowing this too. Next, from XRP Lover, @lover_XRP, sent me this. This is something else we've talked about. Now, I'm not a subscriber to the Wall Street Journal. Maybe if they used Coil, I would read this one article, but I'm not a subscriber because they want me to go and pay some monthly fee, $1 for 4 weeks special entry fee. Well, the world's changing, Wall Street Journal. Coil.com is where you need to go to find out how you need to do your sell your content in the future. But this article, there's just enough of it here for me to show you what to make the point. No branch, no problem. Citigroup bets big on digital banking. Executives are convinced many U.S. consumers are finally ready to abandon brick and mortar. Where on earth have you been hearing that you will not have brick and mortar banks in the next 5 to 10 years? What happened to retail and what is happening to retail stores from Amazon? Amazon has gotten rid of basically Circuit City, Kmart, Sears, all. Amazon has taken them out. It took a long time. It'll take a long time with the banks too. But some of these bigger banks, they're seeing it on the front end and they're starting to close branches. And yeah, it could take 20 years. But that's what is it? Here's the question. And this is the real question that encompasses all of this. If you can get rid of brick and how on earth could you get rid of a brick and mortar building? Because what you're doing is you're getting rid of those people, that interaction between the customer, myself, and their money. That interaction goes through a middleman. The middleman could be, physically it could be a teller, bank teller, but it's the bank. Okay? Well, everything that we're talking about with digital assets is getting rid of the middleman. That is the only reason that they could get rid of the brick and mortar, is to get rid of the middleman. That's what this is all about. That's what it's been about. There's a reason that this was all triggered from the financial crisis. I've been saying this for months. There's a reason. That was the big bailouts were the biggest mistake that the central banks and the banks of the world ever made. If they really liked having control, the biggest mistake they ever made was to do those bailouts, to bail themselves out and then go after the people who didn't get bailed out. That was the biggest mistake that all these people, like that congressman who likes to have his control, all these people, you talking about short-sighted. When they did those bailouts, the people revolted quietly, and the revolt was Bitcoin. And it was the first through the door. So I will always have a certain respect for what Bitcoin is. Okay, moving along. Next, from XRP Big Time. Bloomberg morning host can't believe gold is down and Bitcoin is up. This is a funny video to watch. Bitcoin as safe haven, okay? Now, you should go and watch this at X Big Time. Go watch this video. He posted it up. So go give it a watch. It's good. Next, this is pretty awesome right here. I said the same thing as this says, WTF. But I went, just so you know, I went to Amazon and I checked this out. And this is for real, folks. What this is a book. Let me give this guy credit first. Jason XRP, at Jason Blackway, Jason with a Y, Blackway. He posted this. This is an actual book that is going to start being sold on May the 20th, 2019. What is in this book will be fascinating, folks. There will be people posting what's inside this book on Twitter. You watch. Wave and Ripple coloring book. Look who the author is, by Satoshi Nakamoto and Mori Uzan, the illustrator. The author is Satoshi Nakamoto, writing a book about Wave and Ripple, a coloring book. A wonderful selection of Wave and Ripple designs, curated by Satoshi Nakamoto, the renowned creator of Bitcoin. These beautiful illustrations are based on work by the Japanese artist Mori Uzan. Uzan's designs were often used by Japanese craftsmen in the early 1900s to adorn their wares with wave and ripple patterns. I mean, this is just flat out bizarre, folks, but I can't wait to see what this is about. I think I mentioned it, but I did go on Amazon and I confirmed that is actually the real deal. All right, next, you need to all go and watch this guy's video that he put up. Video from May 12th, 2019, at Mr. Level Up. And he has laid over the charts from, I believe, 2015, 2016, what became the 2017 bull, and he has laid right beside that, or underneath it, the chart of what has happened from 2018, 2019. And this guy is predicting in the next week for us to go parabolic the way that we did in 2017's bull run, is the way that I heard this. But you go and listen to it and decide for yourself. But really, really interesting. Definitely worth going and watching. Then I got this from X-Men XRP at XRP33. This is from Lending Block report reveals increased institutional desire to borrow and lend digital assets. Latest report by securities lending platform Lending Block has revealed that not only has lending supply and borrowing demand for cryptocurrencies remained strong, but it is also growing among the top crypto hedge funds, exchanges, market makers, and trading houses across the globe, according to a press release shared by CoinRibbit. It says 41% of institutions sampled reportedly state that they will expect to be making more than 5 loans at any one time. More than 50% showed their demand for borrowing to be higher than lending. 82% of firms expect to be taking at least 1 loan at any given time, and out of those, 30% expect to have more than 5. And then if you go down here, this is the part I wanted to show you. Bitcoin and Ethereum remain the top 2 digital assets that clients are interested in borrowing and lending, with lower but still material interest in other assets including Bitcoin, Cash, Litecoin, and XRP. Okay, next I want to show you this. This is from Sean Michael at Michaels_Mr. sent this. This is really interesting too, folks. This is from Bloomberg Crypto. Bloomberg, the most anti-digital asset financial media outlet that there is. They say U.S. futures are getting clobbered. Bitcoin, on the other hand, and then they show a Bitcoin chart. And then that is followed by this, Cryptopolis. Now, don't underestimate what this guy is saying here, folks. Do not underestimate what's being said here. We've talked a lot about how digital assets are the new asset class, the first new asset class since bonds were created in like the 1600s. Okay, we've said that a lot. But a big part of the reason that it becomes an asset class, a big part of the reason that Wall Street has labeled it as such, is because when they saw that it was not correlated to other asset classes, because what that does is it provides Wall Street with an opportunity when other asset classes are having down years. They can diversify their portfolios and have it in this new asset class that can go up while the stock market goes down, or bonds go down, or whatever, gold goes down, whatever. But the point is that's what makes it a good asset class, is the fact that it's uncorrelated to the others and can help balance a portfolio. So listen to what he says. He says non-correlated assets, pattern for the past few months, Bitcoin, XRP, and alts down, stocks up. Bitcoin, XRP, and alts up, stocks down. This morning, the Dow futures market is in trouble, down nearly 500 points. BTC and XRP up. And then my favorite wild man, John McAfee. Here's a tweet about XRP. John McAfee had tweeted this, and this guy, as a random response, said, "Yo, John, what do you think of altcoins in 2020? Will Litecoin, XRP, and ETH survive?" John McAfee says Ethereum and XRP will. He knows. John McAfee. This is the same guy that knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, apparently. That's a joke. I don't know if he does or doesn't, but he said he does. Okay, and finally, I wanted to finish with this. I agree 1,000% with David Goekstein. XRP is going to take off so fast that most won't have a chance to get in at current price. Thinking out loud. Hashtag thinking out loud. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that I do believe XRP is going to take off so fast that most won't have a chance to get in at the current price. Thank you for listening.